Good morning. My name is Buddy Harris, and I'm the President and CEO of Integrity Management Systems. We are a Carolinas-based Homeowners Association manager, vacation rental manager, and long-term rental manager. Purpose of this video is to address HOA association boards and our best practices that we share not only with our current board of directors, but also we spend a lot of time with our prospective boards of directors as we are going through the interview process, meet and greets, face-to-face meetings, virtual meetings. These are the best practices that we share with the boards to align the association to be, as I commonly say, to be placed in the best position to win. There's a lot on social media, there's a lot of negativity with the term HOA. When someone mentions an HOA in a Facebook group or a social media post, there's a lot of negativity. And the truth of the matter is, HOAs, homeowners associations, do not have to be bad things. Now, there are boards of directors that do not commonly share the best interest of that homeowners association, and that can have some undesirable consequences. In addition, there are association management companies that certainly do not have that association's best interest at heart, and that can be greed for money. There's a lot of factors there, and that's not the purpose of this video. But I just want to dispel the connotation out there that all HOAs are bad. All HOAs are not bad. IMS manages a number of homeowners associations, and none of them are bad, nor are the boards bad. In fact, our client partners are fantastic. The board of directors truly embrace not just what is in the best interest of their unit, but also what's in the best interest of the community. And that is the goal. That's the number one goal on the board side. On our end, we truly care about that community. We are a business partner, not only to that board of directors, but to that homeowners association. That's our number one goal. The fiduciary management of the funds of that association, caring, transparency, integrity, character, and immediate communications. That's what we do. That's all that we can control. We can control that as a management company on our end. We have no control over the board of directors, and we defer to their direction in telling us how to manage the association. But all HOAs are not bad. All management companies are not bad. So again, the purpose of this, I want to go over best practices for that board of directors to place that homeowners association in the best position to win. What does that mean? That means you bulletproof your CC&Rs. That means your governing documents are recently updated, most times by an attorney, to where they are ironclad. They're not written from the 1980s. They're updated with up-to-date content. Your rules and regulations are up to date. So again, as I commonly say, your governing documents, your CC&Rs, are bulletproof. They're beyond legal reproach in protecting the association. That is a huge priority. In addition to that, I want to digress for a minute and talk about bank accounts, association bank accounts. Board members that are watching this video, I guarantee you, none of you have an association manager where anyone from the board is an authorized signer, authorized viewer on your bank accounts. And there's a reason for that. In the Myrtle Beach area, that is the common theme. The board members do not have access to the bank accounts. They may or may not receive bank statements from the management company, but no one from the board can walk into a bank, pull financial documents, and see how much money is in the association accounts. And as you know, for some of these larger associations, there can be $1 million+ between operating and reserve accounts. Then you have investment accounts, a whole host of accounts. And in recent memory, we have not onboarded a single association where anyone from the board was an authorized signer, authorized viewer on their bank accounts. In a lot of cases, we've got 3 associations now we're about to begin onboarding, and in all 3 of these, the board of directors does not even know who the bank is that manages their money. I'm not going to go into detail as to why that is the case, but there are definitive reasons why these management companies set it up this way, and I'll let you figure that out on your own. It's not a very complicated process to work through in your mind and understand why. So with that being said, IMS, we have 2 mandatory pieces with any homeowners association that before we sign a management agreement with those associations, 2 things have to happen. Number 1, myself and or our director of homeowners associations, Joel Wilson, must meet with the entire board of directors at some point during the, as I call, the courtship process, the process of the board of directors and IMS speaking with one another, having meetings and so forth. That can and generally begins with the board president. And at some point during that process, and that process can take up to 6 months, at some point during that process, IMS, myself, and at least Joel Wilson have met with, whether face-to-face, virtually, or telephone calls with the members of the board of directors, whether that's a 3-person board, a 4-person board, or a 5-person board. The reason for that is it gives both entities the opportunity to get to know one another and ask all questions and make sure that both parties are comfortable with the new business partnership that is about to be formed. And make no mistake, if this is done the right way, this is a business partnership. I am in the partnership business. IMS is in the partnership business. We do not have customers. We do not have clients. We refer to our clients as client partners, but the word partner is always there. That's the way we do business. We have business partnerships, and I think that's very important. And our partners, to them, that is a very enduring business philosophy, to have a partner who cares about that property, that homeowners association, the way that the board of directors does. So the second piece of that, again, the other mandatory piece with that is the creation of new bank accounts. So IMS banks exclusively with Coastal Carolina National Bank in Horry County. There are about 7 branches up and down the Grand Strand, and we bank internally and externally exclusively with them. And all of our managed homeowners associations, we create new bank accounts with CCNB, whether it's just operating and reserve or whether there's multiple accounts. One of the vice presidents with CCNB creates the accounts. And here's the kicker. My wife, Melissa Harris, who is also our CFO and our property manager in charge, and at least one of the board members has to be at least authorized signers or authorized viewers on that bank account. Now, some board members, before this is explained to them, why do you do that? It's very simple. It provides joint transparency. The board members, not only do they receive bank account statements from IMS monthly, they can walk into any CCNB branch and pull any reports that they wish. Now, we have a couple of boards, and I think this is very, very smart on their end. We have a couple of boards that have selected for their board member or members who are on the account to be authorized viewers. What does that mean? They can walk in, they can pull financial reports and view them and take them home with them and review them. They also have access in our software portal to view those as well. But it creates an immediate system of checks and balances for both entities. The reason some of the boards do not want the board members to have signer capability is that they cannot withdraw any money. So now this is what you have in the protection of the association funds. We have the board of directors has a clear pathway to our managing of the association funds. And conversely, IMS has a board member who also has that ability. So whether they have authorized viewer, authorized signer, no one from the association or from the board can be accused of misappropriation or any mismanagement of funds. So it's a breath of fresh air for this area, the greater Myrtle Beach area at least. We have been told by our partners at CCNB that no other management company, no one mandates this. No management company mandates the creation of bank accounts where both the management company and the board of directors has access to the funds. Again, I don't need to go into the reasons as to why this is, but this is a mandate for IMS, and when boards find out about this, they immediately fall in love with the idea. It creates immediate transparency. The second piece there, legal assistance. So, unfortunately, associations commonly find themselves in situations where they need the advice of legal counsel, and in some cases, partnerships with a local attorney. We have a number of individuals that we can refer, local attorneys, whether it's our actual attorney, and we also have access to another married couple. One is barred in North Carolina, one is barred in South Carolina, and they work exclusively with homeowners associations. We have no business ties to them. We're simply friends, but they work only with homeowners associations. So we have access to provide board of directors, if needed, the exposure to legal counsel through introductions. And then the board of directors simply decides, makes the determination on their own if they need to create a relationship with that local attorney. That can involve rewriting your governing documents, that can involve collections, that can involve civil litigation. So it runs the gamut there. But having a local partner that has inroads to great local attorneys who are not in it for the money, they're not doing what at least I hear a lot of others are doing there. They do it the right way like we do. That is an invaluable service to our boards and to our associations, and we gladly refer that information out as needed. I want to talk briefly now about the onboarding process, because there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of trepidation, and there's just a lot of misinformation and lack of understanding in what it looks like for a management company to onboard a new homeowners association. It is one of the most simple processes that we're involved in. And by the way, the management of homeowners associations, minus any tricky, in-depth legal situations, the management of homeowners associations is more simple than the management of vacation rentals. A lot more simple for us. It's not complicated. Homeowners associations are not complicated. It involves what I'm doing right now. It involves communicating, and that's it. It involves communicating and the collection of the dues and the financial management of the funds of that association. It's not complicated. There's nothing complicated about it. Human beings complicate it because human beings don't always do the right thing. So when you're not doing the right thing, everything becomes more complicated. But in a perfect world, in a situation where we're managing the account, the association, there's nothing complicated about it at all, including the onboarding. So let's begin with termination periods. So I get a lot of calls from association presidents, and they are involved in some lengthy termination out with their management company that can be up to 180 days. And they range down to about 60 days. So with the contract, with the management agreement that the association is in, yes, they, in most cases, would give the association manager notice. Now, there are situations where there are already existing suits in place, breach of contract situations where an attorney's already involved, and in some of those cases, and I am not an attorney, I'm not speaking on that, but in some of those cases, some of those terminations can be and are expedited more quickly. But generally speaking, the association has a 60 or 90-day termination clause with the management company, so they provide that written termination. At about 30 days out from the end of that termination, we will get involved. We will communicate with the outgoing association manager and begin requesting documents and the initial funding of the bank accounts. And again, there's really, aside from the fact, and this is very important, you board members, listen up to this. If you're terminating an association manager and going with a new one, although a good management company will oversee that process and ensure that association funds are paid to the new association manager via a cashier's check and deposited into those bank accounts for that association, it is still the board's fiduciary responsibility as the elected representatives for that association to ensure that that outgoing association manager sends any and all funds to our office that belong to that homeowners association. In most cases, the outgoing manager complies with our request, but I always have a concern because every new association we onboard, no one from the board has access to the bank accounts. And if we're lucky, they may or may not have recent bank statements showing the account balances of the funds that are being managed by the other manager. So that's always my number one concern with any new association, is ensuring that all association funds which exist in other bank accounts make it to our CC&B accounts where we can control the integrity of that money for that homeowners association. Past that, again, IMS takes care of the entire process. When usually the board president makes that termination to the outgoing association manager, we're copied on that, so we have inroads to contact that association manager and begin requesting documents. And again, in most cases, our asks, our requests are complied with, and we begin receiving those documents. So from there, again, we have control of the process. We're experts. We do this all the time, and the board can kind of sit back on that piece and just let us work our magic with the outgoing management company there. One thing with the final disbursement of association funds from existing bank accounts, this is never a day one of the new management agreement situation where all the funds are housed in the new bank accounts. It doesn't work that way. You have checks which the outgoing association manager must have clear the bank. You have bill pays that must be electronic bill pays that must be turned off. So it generally takes about 30 days for all that to shake out and for the outgoing management company to release the final funding to close out the existing bank accounts and IMS receive that money. Again, we manage that process and we communicate with the board of directors as how that process is going week to week. But again, it's still the board's fiduciary responsibility to ensure, alongside with us, that those funds reach their desired destination, and that is the new bank accounts. I want to talk about the new communication period. In other words, what we do, what our office does in conjunction with communicating with association owners with our new association. This communication begins simultaneously with the board of directors notifying the homeowners that a new management company has been selected. That begins with an email from the board, and then IMS turns right around, generally within the same day or 24 hours, and we send a follow-up communication via email and also a written letter to the homeowners introducing ourselves. We give them our office address. We talk about payment options. We explain to them that it generally takes about 30 days for electronic payments to be turned on. So we walk them through the entire process, welcome them, give them our telephone number, inform them of who in our office is responsible for what. So just a nice welcome letter that's sent out both electronically and as a mailer as well. This begins the process, and we all know that people, sporadically sometimes check their email or never. People could be out of town, people could be on vacation, people could be out of the country. So sometimes mailers are not read initially as well. So we're very accustomed to fielding telephone calls and inquiries that first 30 days or so. Hey guys, what's going on? We got this email from the board. We got this email from IMS. You guys have made a change. And for you board members, this is that first 30 days or so, from especially when the notification is made through the management agreement going live, usually at the beginning of a certain month. And then about 15 days after that, that is the period of time where homeowners are anxious. A lot of us do not like change. A lot of us are afraid of change. Oh, I've got another account now with another company that I've got to pay my fees, or I don't live in this area. I can't walk in and make my payments. It's common throughout the process, and we're really good at alleviating stress from the homeowners and say, hey, it's going to be okay. This is where you pay your dues now. This is what the amount is. The first piece is there are not going to be any late fees the first 30 days during the transition, because again, people are receiving this information at different times. So we don't charge late fees the first 30 days. And there's a reason why other companies do that, and I won't get into that now. So by then, the new management agreement has been signed. The outgoing management company has already relinquished most all of the documents that we need. The final piece there is when they close out their final month of management. We need that because that gives us the exact account balances for each homeowner's account. And from there, we can set those internally. People keep paying their dues and everybody's happy. So I've skipped over a few steps there. I didn't want to make this video too long, but it's number one, it's not a complicated process. If the board of directors does its due diligence and selects the right partner, that's where this begins. We're pretty much going to take care of 99% of everything else. And the board can just oversee the process and relax and know that we do this weekly. And we make the homeowners at ease with the process and knowing you're in really good hands. We're going to walk you through step by step of this process. So these are best practices. We have written documentation. If any board members would like to receive a complete copy of these best practices, please contact our office. We'll be happy to share those with you. We can send them to you via email. And if anyone would like to schedule a call to discuss this or any other topics in depth, please feel free to reach out to us. I'm a consultant. My job is to consult with would-be partners and walk them through the best steps to put whatever their asset is in the best position to win. And in closing, if that does not include a partnership with IMS, that's fine. Because at the end of the day, if I can keep a board member or any homeowner from making a poor decision and getting in a situation with someone where it's not in their best interest, it's a win for that individual or board. And it's also a win for the property management industry because it just puts people in better situations. So that's how I conduct business as a consultant, as a subject matter expert, to give you the information you need to make informed decisions to put you, your board, your homeowners association in the best position to win. Our telephone number is 888-810-9184. And again, my name is Buddy Harris, and I'd be delighted to speak with you at any time. Thank you.